5B. Read.
B. Read the text quickly and match the headings A to G with the paragraphs 1 to 4. There are 3 extra headings which you do not need to use.
My Trip to Morocco by Amanda Edmonds. I arrived at Marrakesh airport where I met my friend Amélie, who had arrived the previous day. She's been to Morocco many times and I couldn't wait for her to show me around. Amélie is French, which is cool because they speak Arabic, French and Berber in Morocco. As soon as I'd dumped my bags in the hotel room, we went out to grab a bite. We went to a souk, which is an open-air market by day, but at night it turns into a bustling open-air restaurant with loads of food stalls. It was full of life and everything smelt delicious. I was enjoying the sights as we were walking through the crowd eating our kebabs, and I didn't notice a man yelling at me. He was a snake charmer, and I almost stepped on his cobra because I wasn't looking where I was going. I had seen many people the previous night with henna tattoos on their hands, so I asked Amélie where I could get one. So it was back to the souk, where a little old lady turned my hands into a work of art. She explained that the tattoos would go away 2 weeks later. Afterwards, while walking around the city, I noticed how some people hail taxis. They don't stick out their hand, but they point a finger, or even 2 fingers. I asked Amélie why they did that, and she explained that it was a way to tell the taxi driver how many people need a lift. Later, we needed a taxi to get back to the hotel, so I gave it a try. We found a taxi pretty quickly, so I guess it worked fine. I was a bit nervous about our next outing, but as it turned out, I had the time of my life. We went on a 2-day 4x4 excursion to Erg Chebi. This is a place in the Sahara Desert, and it took us most of the day to drive there, but it was definitely worth it. We watched the sun setting over the enormous sand dunes. Then the real show started, as the stars came out and filled the entire sky. Living in the city, I had never seen so many stars. It was magical. I fell asleep that night imagining how wonderful life as a Bedouin might be, roaming the desert on camels and sleeping in tents under the stars. A few days later, my dream came true and I got the chance to go camel riding. But it didn't really live up to my expectations. Getting on a camel isn't exactly a piece of cake, but after a bit of a struggle, I managed to get up there. I called my camel Goofy because he had huge teeth. We rode off, but after a while I felt dizzy, and I asked the guide Moha if we could stop. Moha told me not to worry, as I'd get used to it. He also said that camels are known as ships of the desert. Then it crossed my mind that I was feeling seasick in the middle of the desert.